Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker shills, debt slayers, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. And let's go to Turkey. And this is a follow-up to a video I did before where I was brazen enough to come out and say that this was a coup that was staged by Erdogan. And there's a lot of theories out there about exactly who instigated this coup. And in fact, they wonder if the U.S. was involved. There was some discussion of U.S. general being involved at the air base, and that hasn't gotten any legs. And then there's coup members that are part of the NATO Rapid Deployment Force, so there's an interesting connection. So there could be some U.S. involvement, cooperation, or some sort of collusion, or at least agreed upon ignoring of the coup event. So that's a possibility. And then this cleric that Turkey is so concerned about, this Gulen, of course, he has ties to Clinton and the Clinton Foundation. No surprise there, because everyone does. But there is the potential that Gulen was somehow involved in this too, because he rightly is picked out as an adversary of the current Turkish regime in a lot of the draconian laws that and the way the state is run now by Erdogan, of course, and Gulen's been interested in that a long time. But just the way, as I brought up in the video before, but just the way the coup played out, the fact that it wasn't very well organized, a lot of participants didn't even know what was going on, the fact that it was on such a small scale, the fact that large opportunities to seize the state media and to actually shoot down Erdogan's plane, and a lot of those opportunities weren't there. So I stand by my view that Erdogan orchestrated this coup, and one of the things that supports that is, of course, the purges that have been going on after the coup. And in Turkey, in less than a week, 70,000 people were fired or detained, 2,300 institutions closed. And one of the things that why this seems to support the idea that this was an orchestrated coup, a facsimile of a coup, an almost coup, is the fact that all these lists by Erdogan were obviously drawn up beforehand. It was just too efficient that within such a short amount of time he could purge virtually every level of Turkish society within a couple of days, and the process continues to go on. Here it is weeks and months later. Media, health, education, the judiciary systems all cleaned out, 131 newspapers, TV, and radio stations closed, 2,839 military arrested immediately, 2,745 judges and prosecutors detained, 1,000 private schools closed, 1,229 charities and foundations closed, 19 trade unions closed, 35 hospitals raided, 15 universities closed, 45 newspapers, and 16 TV stations closed, 50,000 passports canceled, closing of all military schools. I mean, this is one of the most thorough purges that I've read about in history. I mean, even Hitler, in his purges in Nazi Germany, he would have been proud of this kind of purge. I mean, Stalin would be proud of this, the efficiency of this purge. 9,000 police officers sacked, 6,000 military arrested, 15,200 teachers fired, 6,500 education ministry members suspended, 1,577 university deans fired, 8,777 interior ministry workers fired, 1,500 finance ministry members fired, 250 staff at Turkish Airlines. And that's getting interesting as well, because you're getting into private corporations. And in fact, Turkey has pursued that to the point where just in the last couple of weeks, offices of 51 businesses were raided, and executives sympathetic to the Gulen movement were detained. But 85 generals and admirals, it's hard to believe that in Turkey that there were 85 generals and admirals involved in this coup who are now arrested, 40% of the generals and admirals fired over this coup. If there were that many generals and admirals involved, the coup would have happened on a much, much, much larger scale. So it's one other part of things that don't make sense. And then 10,000 people formally arrested, and they're even clearing out the prisons of apparently a lot of low-life criminals, low-level criminals, just to make room for political prisoners. And one of the other things that's suspicious about this, for me, and another reason why I believe that Erdogan staged this coup, because everything, of course, that's resulted since then has been exactly the policies he's been after. He's consolidating more power, and he's going to have a military that's ready to do business with the Kurds. And in fact, we've seen that, because immediately after this coup, or within a few weeks, we also have this Turkish invasion of northern Syria. So another, all the impediments to a more aggressive Turkish military policy in the region have been removed by this coup. But one of the things that really makes it stand out as well, because before the coup even happened, Shan Adel Tabatabai in May 2016 said that, quote, Erdogan is preparing for a military coup in Turkey, and he published this article. So I think that's a pretty good smoking gun, that if somebody could come out and say that he had inside knowledge that Erdogan was preparing for a military coup in Turkey, Erdogan himself, and this is exactly what happened. And we also knew that something was happening because of crackdowns on the media that predicated that happened before the coup, as well as the sacking of the prime minister and the appointment of a new prime minister who was a very close ally of Erdogan and his policies. And like I say, the coup is just too small and the purge too huge to be an accident and a reaction to a coup. So there we have it. Turkey has orchestrated its own false flag coup to consolidate power, and this goes in line with some of the great coups and consolidation powers we've seen in history, most notably in Europe in the 30s, 20s, 30s, and 40s. And Erdogan's doing it right out of the playbook. And this purge has been so efficient and so widespread and so thorough that he really won't have to do anything like this again. It all got done within a couple days in Turkey, and so very efficient indeed. So there we have it. Coup in Turkey. The purge continues, and the more aggressive policies in the region continue. And there we have it. Old news, but important. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.